If anybody has ever wondered what 40 hot dogs look like, this is what 40 hot dogs look like. And this is also what 40 hot dogs look like, just in buns.
Hey everyone, Joel Hansen here. We're finally doing our hot dog run. So I'm glad we're finally gonna get to do it. I will say I'm moving today. I'm in the middle of moving. I'm having a bit of issues. So mentally I'm not 100% here, but that's okay. Here I have 40 hot dogs and buns. Hot dog runs take a long time to set up. So kudos to everybody who does these on a regular basis. Like, they take a long time, a lot more effort than I would have thought. These hot dogs are totally cold. They are the cheapest, worst hot dogs possible. And by all means, right now they are like rock hard, firm because they're cold, and I totally overcooked them. So it is what it is. You just make the best of it. There's a lot of variation in Real Nathan's qualifiers, and this is going to be a variant as well. So with that, let's get started in just a moment. All right, so I have 5 plates of 8. Again, I was hoping for optimal conditions, but these are absolutely worse than I could have imagined. Very cold hot dogs. The buns I froze, so a lot of them are like frost burnt a bit. They're like really, really hard. But I'm not complaining, I'm just being very objective. My goal is 30. If I don't hit 30 in 10 minutes, I'm gonna be so disappointed in myself. I have a timer there, so 30 is what we're going for. I will be dunking, I'm going all out. Messiness doesn't matter. I'm not trying to stay clean. I'm gonna try the 2-dog method, which is grabbing 2 dogs, eating bun, and then the other bun. I'm gonna try that. And if not, I'll switch to the 1-dog method, which I've done once before. In the count of 9, I got a timer here, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everyone, welcome to my hot dog run. Very happy to finally be bringing you this. It's been a long time in the making, and finally it's been warm enough outside to do something. So this is going to be first the hot dog run in its entirety and without commentary, and then if you want to hop to about 16 minutes in the video, I'm going to have the hot dog run with my criticisms of my attempt. So watch the video, watch this first run, let me know what you think and what I could have done better, and then go hop to the end, 16 minutes, and let's see what I think and how I could have done better. So with that, everybody, thanks for watching. I'll let you get the rest of the video, and we'll talk to you soon.
What I and my associates did was take the brain circuits from your dead body. We stored them in electrochemical batteries until we had a chance to rebuild the cities with the Democrats.
Do you think I believe it? A fantastic tale like that?
I imagine you find it incredible.
Jamaican with jive, boy, say shout. When it hits you, yes, indeed, yes, yes, you shout. When it hits you, yes, indeed, yes, yes. When it hits you, yes, indeed, yes, yes, you shout. When it hits you, yes, indeed, yes, indeed, yes, you holler, yes.
1, 2, 3, do it!
Get Jamaican with jive, boy, say shout. When it hits you, yes, indeed, yes, yes, you shout. When it hits you, yes, indeed, yes, yes. When it hits you, yes, indeed, yes, yes, you shout. When it hits you, yes, indeed, yes, indeed, yes, you holler, yes.
1, 2, 3, do it!
there it was, my first hot dog run ever. 10 minutes. So I was able to get 30 and a half hot dogs. So my first run, as I was going through there, honestly, I was just like, kept stumping myself because I'd make a mistake. Like, I don't know how many times I took the wieners towards the water. I was just being really hard on myself throughout, and I should have just been more positive. I'm definitely not full in regards to capacity. Like, not at all. The issue was my technique. I will tell you one thing though, these hot dogs are literally the hardest hot dog, like, I'm pushing, there we go. These are the hardest hot dogs I've ever had in my life. I don't know if it's normal to have jaw fatigue on a hot dog run, but that's what was going on. I have a bit of jaw fatigue, because these things are damn rock hard. I'm not making excuses, I'm just being very honest. The buns were fine, like I said, I mentioned earlier, like frostbitten, but there was no difference once they were in water. My chipmunk at the end, I totally could have got that last bun in. I just didn't have the confidence, or didn't have the practice, I guess. So yeah, there's one bun in water, which would have brought me to 31. Otherwise we're at 30 and a half, as there is 9 remaining. Yeah, 9. So, that everybody, I hope you enjoyed. I hope if you're going to Nathan's, you're having an excellent time. Kudos to you. Like I said, this takes a lot of time to set up. Honestly, I think this probably took me like almost an hour, maybe an hour, actually, like a full hour to get the hot dogs, to cook them, to put them on the buns, to get my drinks ready, etc., etc. So again, huge kudos to all the Nathan's people. Congratulations to everybody who is going. 30 and a half, my first practice run ever, my first time ever eating hot dogs fast. I'm not discontent. I'm okay with it. I'm not satisfied, but I am okay. I'm really glad I hit 30. If I didn't, I would have been tearing myself apart. And especially, like, again, just being very honest, I know I'm not in the right mindset or mind space. Yeah, like, I'm actually glad I started, like, preparing these dogs and everything so, like, much earlier in the day, because, like I said, I just don't really feel like it right now, or, like, before I started. But anyway, yeah, I can definitely still eat. I'm not bad in that regard. But yeah, I was the only other thing I'll mention is when I was switching to the flavored beverage, I definitely needed it. So some people can't dunk in flavored beverages. I just learned I can. It's totally fine for me. But that definitely helped a lot. And then I was trying to use it very sparingly at the end, which probably also was not a smart idea, because I only had one dunking dish as flavored dish. This flavored dish was, like, flavored drink was not flavored enough. This was very, 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 very diluted. Trying to think what other, like, strategic mistakes I made. Like I said, obviously there's a lot of miscoordination between the dogs and the buns. That was multiple times. Oh, also at the end, where I was starting to grab the blue drink, the drink in the blue, that was because oh, my memory card is getting full. But I grabbed that because I couldn't swallow them very effectively. I needed the extra liquid. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hope this saves. Until next time, stay happy, healthy, hungry, and happy eating.
Alright everyone, welcome to the video where we are going to critique my hot dog run. So first off, right from the get-go, I was not dunking my buns into my cups aggressively enough. Some of the ends were still not in the water where they should have totally been submerged. What I did find out more later on is just how ill prepared I was for this run. I did not anticipate really that I would have to be using additional fluids like I have in my little water cup there on the right, where I should have had multiple water bottles prepared, especially with the flavored beverages, because again, I totally missed this, but that is definitely a key part of doing a hot dog run, being you have to have your additional fluids because flavor fatigue, and near the end, even with the soggy buns, you need the liquids to help assist get kind of the wieners down and just help everything flow when your body doesn't really want to swallow hot dogs anymore. That is not what she said at all. So the first minute of this run was pretty good because my body was still good with just the hot dogs and the buns. Again, the hot dogs were very, 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 very tough. And you're gonna see here in about 40 seconds, I'll point it out, where I was almost like, what the heck, man, this is ridiculous. Again, I was in the middle of moving and had a big complication that would delay me a day. So I was a little like kind of frustrated, but I'm really glad I already had the hot dogs like cooking, because otherwise I probably would not have done this. Like this day, I would have done it a different day, but this just worked out well because then I got it done over with. So still at this point, I'm kind of starting to slow down, and again, I'm starting to like, again, kind of, there you go, I almost dunked the wieners. I'm starting to kind of not be in that same rhythmic capacity, starting to kind of realize and feel the difficulty of these hard wieners, and just like, man, what the heck, and started to beat up on myself, to be honest. Again, I'm just being very honest, I'm not being negative in this situation. People often ask me, like, what are you thinking, like what's going through your head, etc., when you're going through the processes, and this is exactly what it is. There's a couple parts where I tried to like adjust my music because my music just wasn't long. There you go, I just dunked the wieners, shaking my head in frustration. The two dog technique that I was trying as well, I didn't mentally map it out, which I really should have, because that was a big issue for myself. I was like, oh yeah, I can do it, but I didn't actually mentally map it or practice the hand movements, which would have aided me to do it more effectively. I should have just done this run with a one dog, one bun, one dog, one bun, because it is more simplistic, at least without, again, mentally mapping and going through the process. So this is the point where I probably should start to be relying on those extra fluids and the flavored fluids. And as you can see, I'm just like, I'm getting basically like my mouth just like stuffed because it's not swallowing as effectively, which is where normally I would take a sip of a flavored fluid and I'd be good to go. But again, for some reason I was thinking like, oh, the buns would provide or should provide all my liquid, etc., etc. So at this part, already slowed down and have a huge strategic flaw. Again, should have been having those flavored beverages by now. My first cup is basically out of liquid, and I am about 16 dogs in, but again, you can see my mouth is just getting stuffed because I'm not using those additional fluids. Here's the first time I use it, and it definitely kind of helps a bit. But again, I'm still in the mindset for some whatever ridiculous reason that, oh, I should be able to do it without the additional fluids. Switching to this flavored beverage really helped a lot. It added that like extra bit of a spark that you need when you're, you know, after eating, I don't know, however many, 16, 17, 18 hot dogs in a few minutes. Which even by, at this point already, being about 16, 17, 18, only 16, 17, 18 dogs in about 5 minutes is not a good sign. As generally you'll only do like about 50% or so in the second 5 minutes as you'll do in the first 5 minutes. So like Joey Chestnut, he is usually at like almost like 50 hot dogs or about 50 hot dogs or 40 hot dogs by the time he is at around 5-ish minutes, and then it just like slows down from there. So really at this point I was just over half my goal, which was really not a good sign. And again, this flavored liquid definitely helped pick up a bit, but I should have been using those additional fluids I had and should have had. And then if I would have had multiple flavored cups, I wouldn't be trying to use this one so sparingly like I am, again only half dunking the bun because I'm worried about essentially running out of flavored liquid, which at this point was like the only thing allowing me or enabling me to keep eating these hot dogs, because yeah, I just was not really digging it so much so far. However, again, so you saw a huge decrease in decline in speed. I actually pick up a little bit again when I start using that flavored beverage. I start picking up even more now that I'm incorporating the use of that additional fluid a little bit. So I kind of like had a really good speed to start. I slowed down just because of my lack of knowledge, my inexperience, and then I do pick up a little bit, kind of this midway, which definitely helped a bit. And over the last minute or two, that included that increase in speed. Again, not really mentally mapping it out. I found there's a couple times as we approached the end that I would be like, it'd be easier to eat like the wieners rather than the buns, or like vice versa. So there's a couple times where I kind of got off track with the 2 and 2. A little bit more, it'd be like 2 and 1, and then maybe like a 3 and 1. But again, I just counteract that as soon as I realized it. But like I said, you can tell at least with the usage of that additional fluid and the flavored beverage, now that I've at this point realized, oh my gosh, I need those additional fluids, I'm able to actually move some of the food from my mouth like into my esophagus again, whereas before it was just getting caught up. And it's still, I'm not saying it's moving fast, like it's still moving quite slow compared to what it was at the first, but there was a period of time there where it wasn't moving at all because I wasn't using those additional fluids. And at that's about it. That's the vast majority of my criticisms. They pretty much continue to the end in the same manner, the same regard. So if you're in America or out of America and celebrating the 4th of July, I want to say happy 4th of July. Congratulations. Always a great holiday. If you're at Nathan's, congratulations for those who have made it to the stage. I'm going to be at Nathan's in Coney Island. Not competing, but just there to support all my friends who are on stage. So I look forward to hopefully seeing all of you there and then. But at that, everybody, thanks for watching. Until next time, stay happy, healthy, and hungry, and enjoy the last 2 minutes of this run.